Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Sean Dexter and I welcome you back to the Mango Grow for your daily analysis video. It's a beautiful day today and we do have a lot to talk about. In today's video, we will be talking about Bitcoin in this squeeze-like formation. Which direction is it going to break, to the upside or to the downside? I'll be giving you guys my thoughts and we'll be going over our targets for Bitcoin. I'll also be talking about Link doing something very interesting. The daily cloud turning green on Link. So I'll be talking about this, and finally today we're going to do one more. I'll be talking about Ethereum. Yes, Ethereum. It's been a while, but I've been eyeing this chart actually for more than a week now, perhaps more than 10 days. I actually took a trade as well. I'll be telling you guys about that and my targets for Ethereum looking ahead. So if you're interested in any of that, you guys know what I was about to say, but I had to stop myself. Pull out your jugs and get ready for your morning serving of mango juice. Alright, here we have Bitcoin USD on the daily time frame, and I do want to start with the daily before we move on to other topics of concern. And this is really interesting because Bitcoin has been respecting this descending trend line all the way from this area over here, right, when we reached 14,000, and every candle has closed underneath. We have not closed a single candle above this trend line, even when it seems like we are going sideways. And yes, we are going and living above the trend line for a part of the day. This is why, guys, I place so much importance on candle closes, right? Because you feel like, hey, it's breaking the trend line, but this trend line is being respected really well. We closed underneath it again this morning, and now we're living underneath it. It'll be really interesting to see what happens when Bitcoin finally pops up to the side of it and lives above it, if it even does, right? Or we may see that rejection, that potential rejection that we talked about in yesterday's video, and start heading down. Hey, perhaps fill that CME gap on the spot charts, because remember how we talked about in yesterday's video, CME gaps did get filled on the CME chart, but it did not get filled on the spot chart. So people who were waiting for that may end up giving up on it now, get into their positions here, and now we actually come and fill the CME gap on the spot chart, right? That would actually be very funny. We can actually go ahead and talk about the levels. I thought I had drawn them out over here yesterday, but perhaps not. So we can just go ahead and we can pull them out from memory, right? We talked about 10,500 being a key level. I think somewhere around here. Yep, does line up with these guys over here. Pull it down to around 10,500. I'm just rounding off because we drew our levels, guys, on the weekly chart. In fact, let's go ahead and switch on over to the weekly and just draw it right over there. 10,500 right over there. Almost getting the this candle over here, right? This thrust up, this mega move, the 40% move, almost getting to the top over here. You can say that, hey, this got front run a little bit. So this is going to be a very key level for me moving forward, around 10,500, 10,450-ish. The next level we talked about was 11,500-ish, right? So those are our two major levels. I really don't want this being pink. Let's go ahead and change colors. That's good. And thin it out. That's good. Okay. Apologies for this, guys. This is just for my reference later. That's good enough. I don't like too many colors in my chart. It gets anyways. So yeah, those are two major levels looking forward. So we can now go back on over to our daily. Actually, let's go ahead to the 12-hour chart, turn on our Ichimoku, and what we have been eyeing thus far has been the cloud level. Okay, the top of the cloud over here, the red cloud that has, by the way, switched green. So we know what this means. We are about, okay, we're not about, okay, nothing is for certain, but this is an indication for a trending move that may be underway. Okay, so we are above the cloud. We are having a green cloud as well now. The cloud Kumo is turning green. We are now living underneath over the Tenkin as well. So the Tenkin that shot above the price has now come and placed itself underneath as well. So we will be using that as support. So underneath us now, we have the cloud support as well as the Tenkan support. Okay, that's good. But this major level that I've been eyeing ever since this area over here has been the 200 MA. If you guys do remember, if you guys have been following us ever since the beginning of time, okay, I'm kidding, through the consolidation of this period over here, you guys know how much weight I was placing on the first few tests of the 200 MA. I was taking those bounce trades, right? Those are good $1,000 moves to the upside, and hey, when you're playing with leverage, those count a lot. Now we are actually seeing the reverse of that, where the 200 MA has been flipped into a resistance point. If we can actually break this to the upside, that's going to mean something significant. Now I will be looking for a 12-hour open and close above this level for that confirmation. Do you guys need to be looking for that? No, of course not. Remember, I already have my position all the way from somewhere down around here, so I am being a little bit more, I can be a little bit more cautious, because again, I'm deep in the profits, and I also added to my position over here on that weekly test of that 21 EMA. So now I'm kind of slightly over positioned. So in fact, I will be looking to take profit somewhere around this level over here, just to get my risk management back into equilibrium. I'll be thinking about that because I kind of really like what Bitcoin is doing. However, it does look like it may want to see some stutter steps in the next day or so, but which direction is the question? Because if we go on over to the lower time frames now, okay, so we talked about the daily quickly, we talked about the weekly very quickly, and we talked about the 12-hour. I do want to talk about the 4-hour over here now. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I don't think you guys should place too much importance on this if you took your trades off the weekly time frame like we did. We'll go on back on over to the weekly right after this, but I want to talk about this. Why? Because we are putting in a squeeze-like formation. Now, you could call this an ascending triangle, you could call this a symmetrical triangle. It doesn't matter. Actually, it does matter, because the ascending triangle puts more weight to it breaking to the upside. Okay, but if you don't like patterns, what you could do is look at the structural formation of what is going on over here, right? So if you're looking at just this zone over here, what is going on over here? Well, we have, just to make it simple for you guys, we have a high, okay, a lower high, and on the other side of it, okay, on the underneath side of it, we have a higher low, we have a low, a higher low, and a higher low. Okay, so what do you see? We see a squeeze formation going on over here. Okay, so psychologically you can say that, hey, the bears are pressing price action down, because why? We have a high and then a lower high. Okay, so the bears are defending the higher highs from forming, but on the flip side, we have the bulls that are defending the lower lows from forming for the bears, right? So the bulls are putting in higher lows, the bears are putting in lower highs. That's how you get your squeeze-like formation. That's how you end up saying, hey, you know what we have going on over here, guys? We have a symmetrical triangle. This is why a symmetrical triangle, by the way, guys, is an equal opportunity triangle, an equal opportunity of breaking to either side. It could break to the upside, it could break to the downside. Okay, it has an equal probability. And you have to ask yourself why, right? When people say that, hey, symmetrical triangle could break to either side, it's because of this. Because you're seeing the bears that are pressing down price action, you're seeing the bulls that are pressing up price action. The bulls are putting in higher lows, the bears are putting in lower highs, all right? That's how you guys need to look at it. When people say things, okay, when you see technical analysts say things, when you see people on YouTube say things, when you see traders on different chat groups say things with so much conviction, ask them why. Okay, ask them why. Ask yourself why. It's good to know the why of what is happening on the charts instead of just blindly trading it. In the long term, this is what will set you apart as a good trader, while everyone else, even if they've been trading for freaking 20 years, you'll find traders who've been at this for 20 years and they won't be able to answer your question because they've been blindly trading, and that's what keeps them from improving. Always ask yourself why. Even if you sometimes you're going to have an established mindset that you have simply forgotten to ask why to, right? You forgot to ask the question why, not just in trading, in other things in life too. Sit back and evaluate those kind of things. Anyways, this is the 4-hour. You can see the same thing going on the entire consolidation over here, right? Now you don't need to break this down wick by wick, but you can see that, hey, we are putting in a high over here, a high or lower high over here, and a lower high. At the same time, we are putting in higher lows on the bottom of it. So we assessed or analyzed this zone over here. You could simply go ahead and do the same thing for this entire consolidation, right? So you're putting in a high, a lower high, a lower high. Over here, we put a lower high and a higher high as well. But again, that's where the lower time frames can get a little choppy. If you're just looking at the whole formation, you're seeing that the bulls are putting in their higher lows while the bears are putting in their lower highs. Okay, so you can say, hey, again, we have like a symmetrical kind of formation. If you go ahead and draw the trend lines, it may not be as pretty, but again, it's the psychology of what is happening that's important over here. We can actually go ahead and do a measured move. So the question now is, which way do we break? I was getting a little ahead of myself, so I'm thinking faster than I'm speaking. Apologies for that. People tell me to stop doing that. That's one of the reasons why I speak so fast, because I'm trying to catch up with what I'm thinking. But my job over here is to be a better communicator, so I apologize. So the question is, which side do we break up? As a trader, you have to look at your edge. Is the edge worth it? Is the edge worth playing? Now, me, I would trade all the way from over here. So for me, the question to me is, do I want to sit in this? Is it worth playing a break to the upside, or should I be taking my profits, right? For you guys, you might be thinking, okay, I entered my trade over here. Is it worth waiting for a break to the upside, or should I take my profits? Is it worth risking the move coming down back on me? Those are the kind of questions you need to be asking yourself. Look at your edge. And by the way, guys, that's what successful trading can be broken down to, a simple concept of it being a combination of your probability plays along with the magnitude of your wins. It's not just one or the other, and that's what a lot of people miss. That's what a lot of traders on YouTube and different chat groups miss. I spent an entire module talking about this in the seed program, talking about how the magnitude along with the probability of the play matters. That's how important that concept is. Without that concept ingrained in you, I don't think you can be successful as a trader in the long term. Yes, you'll have a few sprints of success, but in the long term, you're setting yourself up for failure unless you ingrain that concept. Anyways, enough of that rant. I've been getting into too many rants recently. So going back to what we were talking about the squeeze like formation. We can go ahead and talk about targets either to the upside or to the downside. Remember, this could be looked at as a symmetrical triangle, and we can do something crude. We can use this candle close over here and this candle close over here. See what we're getting. Is that a straight line? Yep, that is a straight line. Good job, Sean. And this if you use that breakout point over there, it is lining up with our 10,450-ish mark that we did with this horizontal over here. I'm not sure if you guys can see it on YouTube, but this gray horizontal I have over here marked at 10,420-ish. It's lining up with that actually, so that's really interesting. If we do a breakout point from around here, we are getting this yellow line, right? So if I'm looking for a breakout of this formation over here, for me to have confirmation or for me to be convinced, I'll be looking for a breakout of this horizontal over here, right? However, for me to be convinced for a breakdown, even a breakdown from this horizontal 9,222, convincing couple of 4-hour candle closes will have me worried. So I'll be looking at something like this, perhaps 8,500, right? And 2 videos ago we talked about the 8,500 level. I believe that's the weekly key zone. Let's go ahead and look at that. Actually, turn on our weekly levels. Come on, trading view's been so slow recently. I wonder why. It's not just me who's been facing this, so it's on my internet. So the Kijun is coming in at 8,500. Okay, so that formation, this is really interesting. So that consolidation that we just looked at on the lower time frame, okay, its breakout to the upside is pointing towards 10,500, which is what? Which is a weekly level, guys. In fact, it is somewhere around where our Tenkin is, but our horizontal that we marked without any of our indicators is coming in at what? 10,412-ish, 10,420-ish, right? That's what that breakout was pointing to the upside. And to the downside, our next weekly level is our Kijun, correct? And this, you could say this orange line over here, but I'm not sure where I got that from. That must have been from yesterday's video. I have to go and look into that. I'll keep that on there for now. But the Kijun is what I'm looking at, and to the downside, that consolidation is pointing towards the Kijun. Okay, this sits in line with my theory that the bulls are not concerned with the lower time frames or the mid time frames. They are watching the weekly levels right now as well. That's what they are defending. They're defending the weekly 10 SMA. They're defending the weekly 21 EMA. And if they cannot do that, the next level that we look at is then the weekly Kijun. Okay. To the upside, what they will be targeting is this weekly Tenkin or somewhere around 10,462. Now, you guys need to keep in mind that we are looking at the weekly time frame. So even a $100 fluctuation, right, is not going to mean much. Okay, think about it, guys. Over here, we pumped $3,000, right? $3,000. $100 means nothing. That being said, the fact that we are spending so much time getting rejected over and over again by this descending trend line is a little bit concerning. But then again, I want to give it time. Remember what we talked about in yesterday's video? We were spending a few weeks going sideways before we got the next leg up, right? Now, some people may be looking at this as a bull flag, especially if you're looking at it on the lower time frames. Let's go ahead and look at it on the 2-day. Yeah, you could say that this is a this looks like a bull flag, like a pennant like formation. In fact, do you guys remember how we put in a flag like measured move yesterday and did something like this, right? And we got a measured move of around what, 19,500-ish when we did the measure move. Go ahead and watch yesterday's video. I don't want to spend time on that. We can do something very similar over here for this flag, but I wouldn't be taking from the wick over here, right? Because the consolidation starts from somewhere around this area. To be a little crude, we can take that wick instead. Again, you don't need to be perfect with this, and let's see what we get. This is pointing to around 11,800-ish, right? So this 11,600. So this points to our next weekly level. Okay. That's actually very interesting. Okay, that's very interesting. So the smaller consolidation points to our first weekly level of around 10,500, and the bigger consolidation points to the next level, the next weekly level of 11,500. But these are all the bullish scenarios. We can go ahead, hide everything, and talk about the bearish scenarios, right? If we do break this consolidation to the downside, well, the first target, like I talked about yesterday, was for me would be to see if the 8,500, 8,600 level gets defended. If we don't do that, that's going to be very, very ugly, and we will be looking at some longer term bearish movements. The next target first would be the mid-range, okay, that I don't think we will be spending too much time over there. 8,200-ish, we will head down to 7,600-ish in my opinion. Okay, so but we'll address that when we get there. I don't want that to happen, of course, because I am long. I won't be fully transparent with you guys, and I will be leaving profits on the table if this does break down towards the downside. But hey, that's the cost you have to pay for the big moves, right? You can't have it all. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Do I want to talk about anything else? We talked about the 2-day, we talked about the daily, we talked about the weekly, we talked about the 4-hour. Again, the daily did defend its 10 SMA again, guys. Okay, that's a good that is good news. So I don't know how long I've spent on Bitcoin already. We can go ahead and talk about Link. And here we have it, ChainLink USD on the daily. And as you guys can see, the cloud over here has flipped green. That actually rhymes. Anyways, what does this mean? It essentially means that we may be starting a brand new trend. As you guys know, Link has already trended very, very well, right? This was a strong move. Now, this does look like two strong impulse moves on the daily chart, and yes, it is. But when you switch on over to the 12-hour, the trend was a lot clearer, right? Your impulse move, your bull flag like formation, impulse move, your retracement, your more deeper retracement, and now you're putting in your consolidation. And that sits very well in line with what we've been looking at on the daily time frame, right? I think I drew it on the Coinbase chart, I do believe. Let me go ahead and pull that up, and I think that's right over here. Yep. So on Coinbase, we have been looking at this ascending triangle formation, right? And what exactly is an ascending triangle formation? Well, it's simply a structural name given to a consolidation formation after an impulsive move, right? So if you guys are a little bit confused on what I'm talking about, patterns are essentially names given to structural formations on the chart that actually are implications of trending moves. All right, so I don't want to go too deep into that, but that's essentially what they are. It's just an easier way for people to recognize them and play them. But if you understand the more structural concepts, the fundamentals of what is actually going on, right, something like in line with what I explained on the symmetrical triangle that we were looking at on BTC's 4-hour time frame, something very, very similar over here. I don't want to go through the same thing over here, not in this video at the very least, because we don't have too much time left. But a consolidation formation sits very, very in line with what we are looking at on Link USD on the daily cloud, right? Because one, we are sitting within the cloud. We're still sitting within the cloud. Yes, we have turned green. Unlike Bitcoin, however, where Bitcoin chart has flipped above the cloud, we're living above the cloud, and we're living above the Tenkin, right? Which is a good sign. I would want to see a little bit more follow through, right? But right now, ChainLink isn't doing both of that. Yes, the cloud has turned green, we're living above the Tenkin, but we're getting rejected by the top of the cloud over here. So what we want to see ChainLink do now is break above the cloud, right, and close a candle above the cloud, which is sitting at around $2.80. What would that do? Essentially, if we close above here, that would also mean a break of this ascending triangle at $2.80, right? You guys are seeing how it's all lining up. Now on the flip side of that though, if you go back on over to our Ichimoku, if we do lose this Tenkin, okay, we are talking about the bullish side where we break the cloud to the upside. But what if we actually talk about the bearish side now? If we lose this Tenkin, I think that lines up with the EMA as well. Yep, so we are sitting on the Tenkin as well as the EMA, so we have a lot of support underneath, right? Breaking that, however, losing that support would not mean good things. It would mean that we are at the very least going all the way down to the Kijun over here, sitting at around $2.20 mark. If we lose that as well, the bottom of the cloud would have our edge-to-edge trade. If we go down very, very fast, sitting at around $2, right? I don't think we'd come all the way down here, because this would mean us just making a move all the way down today. But I would think all the way up to around $2.02. Okay, so we can go ahead and put a horizontal line right over there, $2. Okay, so I do have a horizontal there already, and I do believe that is our weekly level. Okay, so that does make sense. Where did I get that to? Where did I get that mark? Okay, yeah, I'm looking at this horizontal over here, not this one. Okay, yeah, I do apologize. So yeah, this horizontal over here, $2.03 is what I'd be looking at if ChainLink makes that bearish move on its Ichimoku, right? So if we lose a Tenkin, lose a 21, the first target I'd be looking at is around $2.20. Now for those of you who are collecting ChainLink in the long term, that is good news, right? But if we come down there and keep going down there after that, I would not really like that at all, and I would not be interested in trading ChainLink anymore after that, to be honest. Even if we lose, even if we break this, I'd be kind of wouldn't like that too much. Perhaps the weekly still would have some hope, but if we lose that as well, if we lose the daily Kijun, I would not be looking to trade ChainLink until it starts trending again. Okay, I'm a trend trader, guys. I'm a trend trader. I don't like playing against the trend. Okay, so main levels that you're looking for ChainLink to defend is $2.20 to the downside, first target. After that, $2, right? Currently we are sitting on major support at $2.60. If we can continue to use this as support and break the upper resistance, which is coming in very, very close now, we're squeezing in even on ChainLink, that's $2.80. I'd be looking at our next targets on the weekly. Okay, here we have the weekly on Coinbase, and essentially what I'll be looking at is if we get that weekly close above $2.77, then the next target that we can look towards is $3.45. Okay, but if you're looking at this chart, guys, please keep in mind that you are looking for a weekly close above. Okay, a weekly close. If you're looking for that target to $3.45, if you're playing that play, all right, you need a weekly close at the very least above here. A daily will not do it. Maybe a couple of dailies would do it for me, but yeah, $3.50 is what I'd be looking for if we actually close a weekly above that. If we actually can do that as well, to be honest, I don't think we'll stop at $3.80. One step at a time, guys, one step at a time. All right, so now let's talk about Ethereum. And now I have been actually watching Ethereum for a while, and I was supposed to get in a trade over here. I missed it. I was distracted that day with some. I was dealing with some real estate stuff with my personal life, of course, and I missed that trade over here. I did get in my Bitcoin trade, but I missed my Ethereum trade. But hey, you can't have it all, right? And then ever since then, I've been eyeing this, and we were talking about this in the Mango Seed chat as well. We were talking about the $181 level being a extremely important pivot level, and I was watching this on the daily as well as on the 2-day time frame, and I essentially decided to start a starter position where I started averaging in between 176 and 181. I do believe that was because the Tenkin or something was coming down over there. Let me go ahead and pull it up. If TradingView wants to be nice to me, Jesus Christ, TradingView, let me try and refresh my page. TradingView has been very, very frustrating recently. Very frustrating. It'll take its time now. I do apologize. I may or may not edit this part out depending on how long this takes, and it looks like it wants to take its time. have a trading view finally deciding to load, and we're looking at Ethereum USD on the 2-day on our Ichimoku template. And as you guys can see, it was right over here at around 177 where the Tenkin was coming in and holding price action, right? So I was using that as well as the EMA 21 as my two areas of pivot, where I was looking, okay, essentially my thesis was I'm looking for the 181 or the 182 level to be held. Okay, as long as that is being held, I'm going to be getting a starter position. I'm going to be averaging around this zone over here every time Ethereum comes and gives me a good buy, and I was doing that. Now the thing was, it wasn't just that, okay? It wasn't just that was giving me that confidence in the trade. What I was looking at as well was the 200 MA on the 2-day time frame. The fact that we popped over there, the fact that we had the 21 EMA lining up with it as well as the Tenkin coming and giving us support, right? All of that was like, okay, you know what? This is a good trade for me, especially historically. If you guys do remember how the 200 MA on the 2-day time frame frustrated me so much when I was in this long trend trade all the way from around $138, right? If you guys do remember, back when Bitcoin had started its move all the way from around 3.8k to 13k we went up to, we were also trading Ethereum, right? We were doing daily videos on Bitcoin as well as Ethereum. Recently we've been doing Bitcoin and ChainLink. Okay, why? Because ChainLink was trending. Now I do believe Ethereum is going to start a trend trade. Is this going to happen for sure? No, of course not, right? It's just a probability play, and because of the magnitude, the possible magnitude of the win, it makes it worth attempting. Now, it was a very, very similar situation where we got the big trend trade, but we came up, smacked against that 200 MA, got rejected, and we were talking about it for day on end, and we never saw that break until we finally came down. I got shook out of my trade over here, then we popped up over, then I took the trade again, I re-entered, all right, and we got that move all the way up to 360. Now this is very, very similar, right? Us breaking over the Tenkin, the entire us breaking over the Tenkin, the 21 EMA as well as 200 MA, the entire dynamic of what is happening on the macro scene, which I will probably talk about in tomorrow's video, because I think this video has gotten far too long already. I'll also be probably talking about something related to the fundamentals of Ethereum. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. Leave a comment down below if you are interested in me giving my thoughts on the fundamentals. I'll definitely be interested in talking about that. So that's why I took the trade, and we were talking about that in the Mangoes in the Seed program, where our thesis was, hey, if we hold the 181, we're going to stay in this trade as long as we're holding the 181 182 zone as a pivot level, and we held that, and now we are living towards the top of the range, which is 191. all right, but what is interesting, what I really like, okay, is the fact that we have come and closed above the Kijun, the daily Kijun, as well as the cloud. If you notice, we've been using the cloud as resistance, the cloud as well as the Kijun as resistance for a very long time now. We have finally come in, popped from the underneath, over the Kijun, closed above it, and confirmed. Okay, well, yes, I would say this is good enough. What I would like to see now is that momentum towards the 1-day 200 MA shooting to around 230. Okay, if we can start seeing that trending momentum, I'll be eyeing the top of the cloud over here at around $200.35. We can go ahead and put a horizontal right over there. Now, remember guys, this is just the beginning of a potential trend trading move, so I don't want anybody to be FOMOing into a position just now, just yet. This is one of the reasons why I don't give calls, right? Especially why I don't talk about my ideas and my thesis in the main chat too often, because I invariably end up getting a lot of messages the next morning where people are saying, hey Sean, it's not moving yet, this is not happening, that's not happening, because I don't want to get into that, but essentially look at how long this trade took to play out, right? Look at how long it took to play out. Took more than a week, guys. Took more than a week, and it's only just getting started. Sometimes you got to be patient, and sometimes it's not going to work out, which is why it's an entire trading skill set, as well as all the concepts that you need to absorb, as well as your risk management. It all comes together, man. All comes together. So that's it for today, guys. I just wanted to introduce what I'm doing with Ethereum to you guys. Let's see how it plays out. I will be keeping you guys updated on that. My name is Sean Dexter. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions on anything, don't hesitate to leave a comment down below, guys. Seriously, don't be shy. Join the Telegram group as well. Don't be shy on that. and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Throw a like, throw a subscribe. See ya.